I'm calling the meeting to order. Is that what I say? Anything more than that?
10:05.
Okay, at 10:05. So we should start with the review and approval of the minutes.
First is the attendance.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we'll start with you. Just attendance.
This is just my name. Yeah, I'm Holly McEldowney. I represent Division of State Parks.
Arthur Buteau, representing Mary Alice Evans for the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development.
Ryan Morales, representing the DAG State Land Survey Office.
Papa Oliveira, University of Hawaii at Manoa.
Hailamo Farden, Office of Hawaiian Affairs.
Lily Makaila, Department of Hawaiian Homelands.
Okay. Shall we review and discuss and approve the meeting minutes from the last meeting, which was June 12th, 2026.
Hailamo Farden, I move to adopt the minutes of the June 12th meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
A second.
Sorry. Okay. The minutes are adopted.
Further discussion, and then
Oh, is there any further discussion on this? So we're ready for vote, I assume.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I vote aye.
Or I too.
Aye.
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 It's unanimous.
Okay, we'll move on to public comments.
Not hearing any comments, we proceed, or does somebody wish to say something?
I didn't receive anything.
There's nothing by mail as well as discussion.
So if any attendee, non-board member wants to comment, can you please raise your hand? Okay, seeing none, I think we can move on.
We have an announcement.
I do. So
yeah, I thought you could describe it better than
I for those of you who were at the last meeting, I announced that I had hired staff person number one, and I had, at the time, I had 2 interns. One of them has since left, and the one who left, so I still have one, but the one who left, one of his tasks was to develop an application for the board. And let me share my screen. Sorry. So what I asked him to do was create a map that shows all the points that we need to consider, all the features that we need to consider, and then also overlay that with the ahupuaʻa. I'm sorry, I guess I need to do this. Okay, so are you seeing the map right now? Okay, so he did a couple things. This is an interactive map of all the points. Right now it's black and red. Black are ones that we don't need to consider, that the board has already done something about, and the ones in red are the status 3s. I am going to change this a little bit for the next meeting, and that is I'll make the black dots, instead of just being black, I'll make different colors for each of the statuses, so we can see the 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s. But for now, red are the ones that we're considering, and black are the ones that we're not going to be considering at these meetings for now. And then he created these filters so that, first of all, I can filter out all the non-reds. And then I can also pick the ahupuaʻa that we're going to be looking at. So based on what we have here, I'm going to pick Waimea. And also yeah, I don't have diacriticals on this keyboard. So I'm going to search for this one. But the idea is that it would then just kind of give us a view of just the features that we're considering. So we don't have, we're not distracted by other stuff. And I'm sorry, it's okay. So it took away all the other red dots except the ones that we're looking at today, or the ones that are on the agenda today. And as I zoom in, I think I'm going to see the name of the ahupuaʻa. And if I zoom in a little further, I'll see the feature ID. So I can replace this with the names, but right now the feature ID is showing, so that we can reference what's on the spreadsheet that was in the meeting packet. And then if I click on it, I'll see the information that's on the spreadsheet that relates to it. And as we make notes, I can do that here, right on the map itself. So anyway, great work for an intern. He did all this in about 2.5 weeks. So I was very grateful to have him here. He also put together a dashboard of the same, it takes the same map and the same points, and it breaks them down, color codes them by those different categories. So the reds, this kind of pinkish red, is the research needed, the 3s. And as I zoom in or out on the map, it just counts up all of the various colors within the extent of the map itself. Right now, it's not public. I need to do a little more testing, but at some point, I'll make some of this public so that you folks can look at it without having to wait for an agenda necessarily. And then also, as we talked about in our last meeting, as you reach out to your networks, maybe kupuna that you know of in specific areas, if they're tech savvy, they can use this map, but otherwise I'll also send out spreadsheets of the names for each island with the ahupuaʻa listed, so that that can be circulated as well. So just to help us better prepare for the meetings and also gather more information from community members prior to the meeting. So that was my announcement. I wanted to share that. I'm very happy with what he did. And I think it's going to be useful for us. Certainly, we're still going to use the USGS site to look at what's in the GNIS, but I think this is helpful, at least for me, to kind of narrow down the areas that we're looking at and then the names that we need to consider rather than looking at all the GNIS points.
Hey, Art, just
Hey, Ryan.
technical question, because I'm doing kind of same project for our office. How do you put in the data? Is it georeference?
Yeah, so the points themselves are from the GNIS, the USGS's GNIS, so those all have latitude, longitude. And, you know, some of the features that we're considering are actually areas. So there's actually really a polygon behind it. But what the USGS has done is they've put a point, I'm assuming at the centroid of that polygon. So, and for streams, kind of in the center of that stream, so that everything is reduced down to a point. So that's what I'm using here as the basis for the geolocation of these points. And then the data behind it is coming from those spreadsheets that we have. So some of this is HBGN information, and I think some of it is GNIS information. Like the feature class is coming from the GNIS. The feature ID is coming from the GNIS. But in our spreadsheets, we reference the same thing. So we reference the feature ID, and that's how I linked the two together. Is I took our spreadsheets, linked it to these points on the map, and kind of added those additional data elements to the points.
All right, thanks, Arthur. Yeah, I think for our office, we're doing something like for each tax map key, we're putting available maps for each parcel. So.
Oh, awesome! And you're gonna put that on your website?
We start once we complete the project, we're gonna put it on our website.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, but kind of the registered maps are we still haven't figured out how to do it because some of them it doesn't just cover one ahupuaʻa. There's like one district, right? So we're still trying to figure out how we're gonna insert them to the GIS.
Yeah, we should talk. Other agencies are doing similar things. DOT Highways has linked a lot of their PDF documents to areas that they're doing work, you know, which may cover multiple TMKs, for example, you know, just multiple areas. But they're doing the same kind of thing with their documents, so we can see what they're doing. But the tricky thing about the parcels is that those change, they can be consolidated or they can be
right. Yeah. I think what we're gonna happen with us is we're gonna have to do a lot of updates as the parcels get updated too.
Okay. I'm just gonna make a note of that. Sorry, folks, that was not exactly HBGN, but it was GIS. So thank you.
It was useful.
Okay. Anybody else have announcements? Oh, I'm sorry. I see a hand up. Laura. Okay, Laura, I'm going to unmute you or ask you to unmute yourself. Do you have a comment?
Oh, sure. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, aloha everyone. This is Laura Ka'akua from Hawaii Department of Transportation. And I think we might be have moved past that agenda item to give public comments, but just wanted to inform the board about our Olelo Hawaii Safe State Street Names Initiative, where we are adding Kahako and Okina to all of our Olelo Hawaii street names on the state highway system. So the state highways themselves, as well as the connector streets to our state highways, but not the smaller county streets. And we have flagged in particular 7 streets statewide where we need additional input to determine translation, and where we've flagged those streets as possibly being misspelled. And so I've put in the chat or in the Q&A a link to our street names website. And we have a public comment form there, and we're happy to come back to this board again to give more information or engage however you see appropriate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I am going to, let's see if I make this visible. Board members, can you see this, the Q&A? Okay, if not, then hang on.
I can see it.
Oh, you can, okay.
Just have to click on it.
If I answer it, I'm wondering if it's visible.
When you answer it, it moves to answered instead of open,
Oh, I see.
but it's still
I see.
visible.
Okay, so Laura, I think I mentioned to you in an email that street names themselves are not under the jurisdiction of the board, but we can help. Obviously, the resources of the board are, overlaps with the kinds of resources that you need. So please feel free to either join in at our meetings, or you can send me information. I can put it on the agenda for the board to look at.
Okay. Yeah, great. I think if anyone has any ideas on how we should be reaching out, we are reaching out directly to the residents on the 7 streets that we need further information on. We've sent out letters. We'll be going to neighborhood boards and Hawaiian homestead associations or community associations in the area. And yeah, welcome any feedback, and I'll just put my email in chat if that's helpful. If anyone has any ideas, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Laura.
Laura, I just wanted to comment. I may have received a email from you with DHHL if I recall. But I would be happy to help with outreach to any of our beneficiaries that are in the vicinity of those areas. If you wouldn't mind reaching out to me directly, I can drop my email in the chat box. But thank you for your good work.
Thank you so much. We would welcome your help.
I'll be sure to put the content of the Q&A into the meeting minutes for this meeting. And Lily, I don't think the chat is public. I don't think anybody can see the chat other than the panelists. So you might want to put that as a response to Laura's email address in the Q&A. Type that as an answer, and then I think not 100% sure how Q&A works, but I think then it's more publicly visible. But I'll certainly include anything that's in the chat and anything that's in the Q&A in the minutes for this meeting.
Got it. I'll put it as an answer to the Q&A. Thank you.
I don't have any other announcements. Anybody else?
You do. You're going to discuss what we can and can't say outside the meeting, and what this is, or this is what we did last year.
Oh, that's just generally the content of what announcements are. It's not a decision making item.
Yeah, it says not an action. You might thought you wanted to discuss it, but that's okay. Now it's selecting the feature names for the ahupuaʻa, Waimea, and Kauaʻi.
So at the last meeting, we went over these spreadsheets, and the discussion was around identifying kupuna or other people in these areas or with familial ties to these areas that might be able to help us as resources. So I've actually got it as a separate agenda item to, I think, agenda item 7 is to identify people that we might reach out to. But I left these 2 items, the ahupuaʻa Waimea and also the ahupuaʻa on Molokai. I don't know if we want to discuss them today or just jump right to agenda item 7. Some of you weren't at the meeting last time, but I think that was a strategy that both Lily and Kapa, I think, suggested as a good approach to these names. So I didn't receive any names since then, and also Marcus was going to reach out to Kapa, I think.
I think for me, I'm still in the process of being able to reach out, so I'm not able to make any suggestions yet.
Okay.
Arthur, sorry, it's Hailama Fari. I don't know if you need me to show my camera when I'm talking, but because I'm driving. I did want to say that having worked with the native speakers in the areas for 30 plus years, and even the maka, as you would refer, those kama'aina who are from the area that may have heard proper names, they're very few today. And we've become homogenized in a larger area. So there may be a few out there, but I know that at a certain point you can't hold up, because what I'm seeing in communities today where people argue place names pronunciation, and they're either not a Hawaiian speaker at all, they're not maybe from the area, or somebody told him. So we no longer have that, I guess, the same level of the scholarly thought. Like I said, if there are very few left. And so if we can't find these folks, we probably should keep moving forward and using the best educated thoughts we have. And maybe once in a while you'll find certain articles in the Hawaii newspaper that might explain a definition of a place. And if it does so, then it kind of gives you the context by which you can guess how the pronunciation, spelling, or what would be. But I just wanted to offer that, we're not going to find very many of those old kupa that come with that same knowledge that you could say, oh, this person really knows, because it's going to be very rare, or kakaʻikahi, as we say. And that's not to be disrespectful for the few that are there, but I'm just saying that sometimes it's going to be very difficult, especially when folks they moved because of Hawaiian Homes, for example. They moved from where they were born to new places, or in other reasons for just moving to where work is, then they become new to that area. Anyway, that's all I want to offer. Thank you.
Yeah, understood. And correct me if I'm wrong, Lily or Kapa, but my understanding was that the intention was ultimately not to slow down our consideration, but to reach out where we knew there were resources available, kupuna available. as sort of the first proactive step rather than going through our list and then going back to fill in the gaps later with our normal process. But you know, as those resources are getting scarcer and scarcer, you know, it's not going to reverse itself. So it might behoove us to reach out now if there are resources that we know about. I think that was the gist of what I took away from the last meeting. Papa or Lily,
Agreed. Agreed. I think what we were hoping for is that where and when we knew that there were kupuna who could perhaps provide insight, that we actively reach out to them now while we still have them as resources. And that might be a way for us to focus efforts if we know, for example, that kupuna kawaʻa might be available as a resource, that we, you know, reach out to him now. But in the meantime, we continue to persist and move ahead.
So given that, I can go ahead and take advantage of this neat application we have and just start on Molokai. So as you can see, there are not a lot on these three ahupuaʻa. I think maybe a dozen. So we can go through these. And I think Kawaʻa came up specifically because we were looking at Molokai. So maybe we can, and Marcus was gonna, I think, reach out to him. So we can, actually, I think Y is first on our agenda anyway. Maybe start with Hawaii. There are a lot more here than we'll.
And believe it or not, the last of the Mauna Leo, which number under 14, the meaning outside of Niihau, the outside of the Niihau community, majority of them actually are from Molokai. And, you know, so the ones who live there, I mean, Kauaʻi doesn't live there anymore. It's very reliable. You also have Opuʻulani Albino, who grew up there, born, raised, and lives there now, you know, and she's also a good resource. And then there's folks like Kahu Kaupu, who is already in his 90s, that you could speak with, and a couple of other Molokai born like Kahu Yabui, but I know that he probably wouldn't be able to offer any thoughts for us now. But Kahu Kaupu, Raukawa'a, Opuʻulani Albino, if you're looking for that native speaker, and they don't have to be native speakers because they have probably heard things and you hear pronunciation. Anyway, just case in point, my grandfather was born in 1913, was not a native speaker, but he heard me talking to my students in Hawaiian about Haha'ione, where he went to school. He was one of the last living students of the Kamehameha farm there. He came from Lahaina Luna. And when he heard me say in Hawaiian to them about Haha'ione, and my grandfather was here to talk to you about this farm, this technical school, he actually told them in English, I heard my grandson use the term Haha'ione. I never heard the people of the area say that. And there were not many of them, but so I mean those are good references. Although I had to tell my grandfather later, I don't know if the native speakers were around at that time, or the residents were born there. So that's, you know, there's a few ways to look at that. But to speak specifically to Molokai, I would recommend there are three reliable sources who are Mauna Leo, born speaking Hawaiian as their first language, and that's Kawaʻa, Kahu Kaupu. Kahu Kaupu actually has a sister alive. She lives in Texas too, and she would be the same. And then Opuʻulani Albino is probably very reachable also, like Kawaʻa. Mahalo.
Okay, so I'm gonna start on this, on the Kauaʻi side. I'm just gonna randomly start from the south part, skipping the
Can I just check if, hey Lama, would you be able to contact them to ask them if they'd be able to provide some insights to us on the places in Molokai?
Yes, I can. I wasn't at the last meeting, but I can do so.
Mahalo nui.
So again, hi Lama, I'll send out spreadsheets for by island. That might help. If they're available for a meeting, that's fine. If they want to appear in person and the schedule doesn't work out, we can always maybe schedule a special meeting around their schedules. But I think it would be valuable, if possible, to hear from them.
And also, if they don't feel comfortable coming to a meeting, I'm happy to have Hailama or some other trusted person, someone that they trust, to relay the information, because it can be a little daunting sometimes for them.
So I think I'm still sharing my screen. We're looking at this valley. Oh, I'll back up a little bit. So at the last meeting, we decided to remove the English descriptors. We were, and that just applied. If you look at the minutes, that just applied to the names on Kauaʻi. I did not. That's not reflected here because when the intern did this join, it still had the English descriptor. But in the meeting minutes from the last meeting and the spreadsheet that I sent with the meeting packet, the English descriptor is not there. That was a decision the board made at the last meeting. But we did not make any decisions on the spelling of any of the features. We didn't go beyond removing English descriptors. So that's what we're doing here is we're looking at, now we're looking at the spelling. I'm going to go back to the meeting packet though, because sometimes it's easier to see it in a list. So you can see I removed the English descriptor here in this column based on the decision the board made at the last meeting. But now we're looking at the diacriticals. Any thoughts on these names? And attendees, feel free to raise your hand if you have a comment on any of these names.
So the one, has it already been corrected?
Oh, you know what?
Elena.
Sorry. Yeah, this should not have an okina.
I'm not sure if I was muted, but the one below that one you're just looking at, Iki, the next one should be Nui.
Oh, yeah. So I think I must have just copied. I have that in the minutes, but I don't have that on the spreadsheet. At the top.
So you want us to comment on the Okina Kahako now?
Yeah, if you have any insight.
What's hard is I can't sign in to this meeting from my desktop. I tried about 45,000 times, so I'm still on my phone. But
On your phone?
yeah, so I'm reading this, but if I don't know it, I just shouldn't say anything, except some are easier, like there's Pe'e Kauaʻi. I mean, that looks like it. It's very rare to see a double E, that it wouldn't be divided unless it's intended to be a one E with a kahako. I shouldn't say very rare. I don't know of that existing. Like double A's happen, but double E's, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I can't get on, but
Actually, on your desktop, because I'm sharing the screen now, you should be able to just log in at the link that's in the agenda.
yeah.
Just as a
I'll use the agenda. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's a good one. I was using the links. Okay, that's a good idea.
I'm not familiar with the third to the last one, Wea Koali. I'm not sure where the kahako came from. Because if you go up, earlier to the top of the same page, Kauaʻi typically doesn't have kahako, but I don't know the places, so it's just something that sticks out without me really knowing how it should be spelled.
looks like place names has it on other islands, but within a crickets.
Place names has Kauaʻi or Wea Kauaʻi? I know Kauaʻi, but I'm not sure about the Wea Kauaʻi.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I looking at the wrong one?
Well, so on our list, Kauaʻi doesn't have a kahako, but then later on the bottom there's a Wea Kauaʻi, but it has a as Wea Kauaʻi as it's currently written.
Oh, I see. UH Press, is that a map? I'll have to look to see what source this is. I'll find out what this source is, and I'll see if it's listed. I mean, it seems to be listed that way with Calco in this source. The UHP stands for UH Press. I'm not sure what publication that is. Is Atlas of Hawaii UH Press? Might be Atlas of Hawaii. So how would you feel about making all of these sevens? And then when I prepare the list for circulation, I include the threes and sevens, so that if somebody knows something about these names, it will still come up. But on our agenda, unless there's some new information, I'm only going to display the threes. Or should I leave them as threes? So we look at it again.
Seven means that we've reviewed it and we don't have any additional information. So in order for us to get through, I think we're gonna need to start having more sevens, right? Otherwise,
Yeah, but the sevens will still be on the list that you circulate to Kupuna and other human resources. But for the board meetings, normally I'll suppress the sevens unless somebody has something to say about them.
that makes sense. Just to clarify again, though, that the Elekeni Iki and Elekeni Nui should
Correct.
be updated.
We'll fix that. Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion to list all of these as sevens.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I'm hearing no changes. Do you want to make a vote to do what we're asking for?
To make these sevens,
Okay, make them number 7. No,
change the status to 7.
change the status to 7.
Aye.
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 Let's see, Hai Lama, did you vote?
Aye.
Aye. I think it was unanimous.
Yeah. Okay. Then we can move on to item. Move on to. So we did not look at the Molokai names at the last meeting. So let me share that list.
Being recorded.
Sorry.
For these, since we have a possibility of speaking with Manaleo, who might actually know, might we consider deferring this until after we've at least consulted with them?
You want to make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we table this conversation until we've had a chance to speak to at least some of the kupuna who are Manaleo and may have an understanding of what these place names mean.
I'll second that.
Anybody want to disagree with that? Or I think most of us want to accept it. So I accept it. Like,
I'll vote aye.
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 Okay, so we lost Lily, but she was going to reach out to some of her benefits. But moving on to the next agenda items. Identifying individuals that have Monoleo or Puna. Lily already said that she was going to be reaching out to her beneficiaries to see. Kailama gave us some names. I think at the last meeting, Marcus said he was going to reach out to Kauaʻi.
Sorry, I thought you said Kapa'a, so I shook my head. I was like, I'm not reaching out, but I think you said Kapa'a.
Marcus, yeah. Marcus said he was going to reach out to Kauaʻi. Any other suggestions? And I'll leave this on as an agenda item going forward, so that if somebody comes to mind between now and the next meeting, especially as we move on to other islands and other ahupuaʻa, that it will be there for us to add names. Any other names for today? Here. We move on to the next slide. Number 8.
Must be discussed. Place names of interest.
Yeah. So this is to help us with our agenda, and I think Hailama, you had suggested that we have this as a recurring item on our agenda. Are there any suggestions for specific place names or areas that we should put on the agenda for the next meeting?
I have none.
I have none. And Arthur, you usually you provide us with a list, and I really appreciate that. But if I wanted to look, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find, like, where could I go to see on this website where all the names are that we would want to look at it?
If you go to here, let me share my screen again. If you go up a couple of levels, probably from where you are, to our to the HBGN homepage, that will have down at the bottom of that. So from here, if you go to this page,
Okay.
at the bottom are
Got
the
it. Got it. Okay.
These are a little out of date, so I'll fix that. I have an intern now, so I'll fix that before the next meeting. But this is currently where they are. And this has all the statuses, not just the 3s. If you'd like this in spreadsheet form, let me know. Again, we're working on updating it, but I can get those spreadsheets to you. That way you can sort it by however you want to sort. This does not have the ahupuaʻa on it, though. This is basically the download from the GNIS.
I have a particular interest for Maui. Could you just send me the Maui one in spreadsheet form? And then I could focus on that. Thank you.
Okay. Ryan, any names that you want to, areas that you want to look at?
Nope. But I'm just gonna go. Yeah, I'm on the website right now, just reviewing the list. But right now, yeah, nothing from me.
Ollie?
I think I have access to this, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at it sometimes.
Okay, and then the next agenda item is similar. I think on the next meeting agenda, I'll just combine these two items because they're very similar. But this is a little bit broader. It's not just discussing place names that we might want to add up to the agenda, but maybe other discussions that we want to put on the agenda. Again, this is a recurring item, but I think I'll just combine it with number 7.
So another item I'm looking at this now, thinking we're adding Kahako and Okina to the place names, but the USGS quad names, are we able to do the same?
No, not the quad names. Sorry.
Okay.
And what would it take? Is it because it's federal? Is it, I'm not saying we have the power to do that now, but
Yeah, I
I
can ask Shelly. She's not on the call today, but I can ask her because what we are changing, here, this is in the federal database, or assuming that they approve our changes, would appear in the federal database. I think this is a different source, though. But I'll check with Shelly to see.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna die if the kahako doesn't make it on the federal, but Okina is a letter, it's a consonant. And when I was in Colorado, on their federal freeway sign, they had the, what do you call that, swirl over the N to make it nya. Well, they have it on a federal sign.
Yeah.
So I thought if they can do that, and they can even use kahako and Okina. But
yeah, and they do. So the names that you see here in the GNIS would be on a federal sign. Agencies are required to use this spelling from the GNIS on any maps, any signage, any documents, as it's written here. But the quad map, I don't know. I don't know why we don't change the spelling of the quad map, but I'll check with Shelly to see if there's a process for that. But they do show Okina and Kahako on federal signs. So I'm sure if you go to Volcanoes National Park, you'll see signage with diacritics.
Okay.
I have another question about some of these that are in English. For example,
Ukulele camp.
yes, or Chang's Beach, Charlie Young Beach. I mean, it's actually Chang Beach. That's my ohana, the Changs, but it has a name. So and actually, even if we were to use Chang's Beach in English, it would have an apostrophe. But are we able to then replace the English name with the Hawaiian name for that beach?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this board is not just to work on Hawaiian names. It's names of these features. There's some features though that we don't have authority on that will appear on these spreadsheets, and I think those are the
Private names. Like
Right.
I assume this Camp Pi'i
Yeah.
Holo because somebody owns that name, or Cape Kina'u.
like a church
Mm-hmm.
or a street, any kind of built structure. They appear on this list, but we don't really have authority over it. But certainly Chang's Beach, if
But
it's
Eke
missing an apostrophe, we can put that in.
Eke Crater, that's not a Mauna Eke is up in Lahaina, if that's the same one, and they have it on the fourth column, Eke, the Okina, but they don't have it on the first column, and that seems to be something we would have jurisdiction over. It's under E, Eke, EKE. You see it, Eke Crater. So it's in the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth column. We have it there, but the
Same with Ele Ele, right
Mhm.
below.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, as I say, this is a little out of date, so let me quickly check the GIS 35879. Yeah. So, yeah, the board had made a change, but it's not being reflected on the federal side. So I can, I'll reach out to Shelley to see if this is just a spelling correction, and I think it is just a spelling correction. That, sorry, but they can make that change pretty easily without a name. Yeah. Yeah, it's not even listed as a variant.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they're still in process. Because
No,
even
if it's
Pu'ukui on that doesn't have a Okina and Pu'u.
on
When you clicked on the details, while you're scrolling, it shows Pu'ukui on the quadrant or something like that. Maybe it's at the top.
yeah, might have been the quad. So again, the quad map.
There, right there. Description. West Maui, right there. Oh, don't, below. Right there. Okay. Description. On West Maui, a few miles north of Pu'ukui. So Pu'u is.
So this is from their data entry. We're not changing those things. And then these are historical variant names. So if there are misspellings here or
It's just showing the
missing
problem.
diacriticals, we're not changing those either. They're just part of their database. But sometimes you'll see the correct name listed as a variant. We can ask them to promote it from a variant to be the primary name.
Yeah,
In
I don't
this
see
case,
that, you know.
yeah, in this case, okay, with Okina is not a variant.
Okay, so I don't mean to belabor it. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just for clarification then, if we wanted to look at Chang's Beach, we could take a look and say that's a variant name or the Hawaiian name, or
Think about it then.
huh?
Huh. Comes from Clark's book.
Hmm.
Yeah, see, there is an muster figure. No variant listed. I don't know why it's not on the name. Oh, I guess that is a variant name.
I guess I'm just trying to understand what it takes to list an English name for a feature on the landscape, like a natural feature. Is it just somebody publishes a book and then it becomes a name?
It looks like that was the source for Chang's Beach. I guess that's this side too. But it also looks like they had it. Well, so we don't, we have the name Chang's Beach in the GNIS. We don't have what historical name is. There was no variant or anything for that.
Okay,
But
I'll work on that one. But I guess just philosophically, just because this book came out on place names and they have a bunch of English names, I don't know that. To me, it makes sense that we just start adding them into our database, especially for places like, like I said, natural features like beaches, which would already have had Hawaiian names.
Yeah.
Because I think part of what we were doing was looking at places like that and going back to the original names of those places. So that would be very appropriate to do the same for there as we would with Yokohama Bay, Kauaʻi, and other places similar.
And I think that could be another strategy, as we're talking about meeting with kupuna, that this could be one, right? Where we
And
take
the variant is good. I mean, since they save it there because it shows there's something, and people called it out of respect to that person, perhaps, whoever the named person, but there were names already for those places.
Okay. Mahalo.
So I could expand, instead of just threes, I could expand it to look at the ones also, which are the not Hawaiian names. A lot of the not Hawaiian names we would not have jurisdiction over, like golf courses. Spring, I think we would. Locale, I don't think, depending on the locale, I don't think we would have jurisdiction over that. But beaches, that might be something that the counties look at too. But yeah, I'll expand the list of future ones.
Are we good moving forward, or if so,
Yeah,
okay. Should we go on to 9?
that was actually that was 9. So
Oh,
you can see there's a lot of overlap between 8 and 9.
okay.
So I'm just gonna, in the future, I'll combine these two agenda items into one item.
So is next the discussion on our next meeting, October 16th?
No, if there's no other items that you want to see on the agenda for the October 16th meeting, the next item is adjourned.
Okay. I just want to note I will not be in Hawaii on the 16th. I'll be in Paris and Berlin for work. So I won't be here. I just want to note in case that becomes a quorum issue for us or not. And like I was when in the last meeting, I was in Europe too, so it's 12 hours difference. So it's kind of hard to sign in 12 hours. So, but if there's something really urgent and you need me to, I perhaps can do so.
Tough job.
If there'd be no further business before this board, I move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
And we're adjourned. Is that it?
No, Holly, you have to ask any question and then take a vote.
Yeah.
I don't think there's discussion, so perhaps you can call for the vote.
Ready to call for the vote?
Aye.
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 It's unanimous. We've adjourned.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Aye. Bye.